So this video is on how beliefs create our reality. And the first thing I want to clear up is a little something that I hear every now and then from people, and it's this idea, this belief that we don't create our own reality. Well, what I want to say is I want to notice the paradox, to notice the irony of saying I don't create my own reality, because even when you say I don't create my own reality, you are then creating the experience that you don't create your own reality. So even that belief within itself is perpetuating that experience, which is thus proving that inherently you do really create your own reality. So I just wanted to point out that paradox there and say that you can either create your reality consciously, or you can create your reality unconsciously, thinking that there is no synchronicity between the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you have to the external environment. So understanding this, really being able to embody this idea that you create your own reality, is the very first step in taking control of your experience, taking control of what you are really able to create in your life. So let's get to the basis of it. The first thing I want to do is give you a little quote. It's from Albert Einstein, and what he says is that everything is energy. And that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is physics. So the reason I give you that quote is because Albert Einstein was a genius. He was a genius that was focused on the idea of progressing the physics that we come to understand. And more every day, there's more evidence, more science studies coming out that's showing that everything in life is vibration. Everything that you see has some level of vibrational resonance. If you even look at the table that may be in your room or may be close to you, it may appear to be so solid, but at a subatomic level, at the deepest form of what it is, it's nothing more than vibration. It's nothing more than matter that is vibrating at a certain rate. So, understanding first off that we create our own reality, and then understand that everything is vibration. So, if you're trying to understand how you can consciously create the reality that you prefer, it's about understanding that everything is vibration. Even the emotions that you have, the thoughts that you think, have an electromagnetic reality. They have a vibrational reality. And that's why sometimes when you're thinking thoughts and feelings that feel good, you feel better, because it's more in resonance with your internal state of how you really are. It's more in alignment with how you prefer to be, and that's why it feels good. So the first step in this is understanding that you create your own reality, that you're creating it right now, that every experience that you have at some level, even sometimes a subconscious level, is perpetuated. The lens that you see it through is there because sometimes of stuff that happened when you were even younger in life. A lot of the core beliefs that we have about ourselves were developed at an early age in life, from maybe the time we were born to about 13 years old. A lot of the neural network, a lot of the development of the brain is already in a certain form by then, and then we tend to see everything from that point going forward through that filter. So now that we are all awakening, and not all of us, but a lot of us are awakening to this idea, awakening to the idea that we create our own reality, we're then able to go back into understanding how certain circumstances when we were younger happened and how that perpetuated our experience. So if we choose to change our beliefs, it's about understanding that we need to go to the basis of why they happened, and we need to reframe it in such a way that we get power from it instead of it taking our power away. So let's take a very common belief that a lot of people have. A lot of people have the belief that they are unworthy, that things happen to them. Those kind of beliefs, a lot of times, have been perpetuated because of an experience that may have happened when they were younger. Maybe they were 11 or 12 years old and they saw their mom being treated a certain way, or or maybe their parents babied them in a certain way, and that's why now they see the world in that way, because they were modeling how they expected to think, and that's why they continue to perpetuate that type of belief system and to reaffirm it over and over again. So, you know, when The Secret came out, and it was all about understanding that the law of attraction, we attract what we're thinking about, and at some level, that is true. We create our reality through the thoughts that we think. But a lot of times, where that film kind of fell a little bit short was people thinking that they could just sit there and think thoughts. If they were thinking about a new car, that eventually it would come into their experience. But if they're thinking consistently about the new car, but they feel like lack mentality, or they feel unworthy of it, that car will never come into their experience. So our beliefs are what really create that experience. So if you understand that if you think about something, but that if you go to why you feel a certain way and you're able to change that perpetual train of thought, you're then able to move it to where you really prefer to be, to think how you really prefer to be versus thinking in the same lines of what you were grown up or taught on how to believe or how to think. So if we have a core belief, which means we have a belief that a lot of times dates back to when we were really young, that we are unworthy, that we're a victim of circumstances, then we'll continue throughout our life experience to perpetuate reflections in life of that belief. But they're nothing more than that. They're just a reflection of that belief that we have. Understanding that you create your own reality from the emotions, from your thoughts, and from your beliefs is key to understanding that you can literally do anything that you want in life. The only limitations that we have are the limitations of our own imagination, are the limitations of our own mind. So if we understand this, we can then begin to inner engineer ourselves. We can begin to wire ourselves in a different way because we are doing it from a point of awareness instead of a point of victimness or a point of thinking that we are the result of our subconscious mind. We have the power inside of us to change how we feel, to change our vibrational perception of our environment. That's why a lot of people like Tony Robbins and a lot of the other self-development teachers have said that the best way to become successful is to model the actions, model the beliefs of those who have already obtained that level of success. If you look at many people who have obtained success, you'll see that at some level they had to perceive their beliefs. They had to redefine their beliefs in order to get the reality that they want, or they had to emulate it at some level. I remember I was listening to an interview of Magic Johnson, and what he said when he was younger, when he first was getting into basketball, he decided that one day he was going to be a CEO. He was going to be not just an amazing basketball player, but he was also going to be somebody that owned a successful business. And he said that he remembered that when he was cleaning, when he was younger, one of his boss's offices, before he actually became a professional basketball player, he would be in there before the boss would come in. He would sit in that boss's chair, put his feet up on the desk, put his hands behind his back, and just imagine himself as a business owner, as somebody who was a powerful CEO. And there's lots of other stories of this too, of people emulating that kind of success. I remember in one of Kanye's songs from one of his earlier albums, he said that he would close his eyes and imagine it. He would close his eyes and imagine the success that he wanted until he could feel it. And it's funny to me because a lot of people who have obtained success at that grand level have had at some point to do something like that, to feel what it would feel like, to imagine it, and to really embody that belief system. And now that we're understanding more about quantum physics, now that we're understanding more about how we create our own reality, we can begin to use this to create what we really truly prefer, because I believe that our potential is unlimited. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Feel free to like or subscribe below. And other than that, I will see you guys on the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.